Okay, so we are going to continue from where we stop, and what we want to do now is what I call waist shaping. I remember where I stopped the other time. We already have our bust line, our hip line, so I said this waist is excess, so now we have to shaping it and remove the dart, the waist dart. And in order for us to do that, the first thing that we have to do is get the true waistline. This waist that you are seeing here is just ordinary waist, it's not the true waistline. So in order for us to have the true waistline, you have to measure 1 cm down this natural waistline. Just measure 1 cm at your center front. So once you measure 1 cm at the center front here, come to the sides here. This side is called side seam. So we have side front and we have side back. So at the side front, at the side and side back, measure 0.5 cm on both sides. So connect the 0.5 cm to the 1 cm. Usually for most sizes, we just measure that 1 cm, 0.5 cm. But for extra large sizes like busts that are very big, you can do more than 1 cm. You can do like 1.5 cm down the waistline to get your true waistline. So if you are doing 1.5 cm here or 2 cm here, just divide it by 2. Half of it is what you are going to take by the side. So here we call here our center back, CB. So we are not going to take anything on this CB, just rule it to the 0.5 at the side back. So this new line is what we call our true waistline. It is called true waistline. Normally from our pattern, our back waist is meant to go up a little more than the front waist. The front waist is meant to come down a little bit more than the back waistline. That is why we are bringing it down by 1 cm at the front, 0.5 cm at the sides, and nothing at the back waistline. Remember I said this line here represents our center back, this one represents our side back and side front, and this line right here is called center front. So having done that, what we are left to do now is measure what we have on this our waistline, on our true waistline. Then we are going to deduct that from it, that to have our waist, the waist that is meant to be for this size 10. So now I'm going to measure it from the CB. I take my measurement to the side back. From here I'm having 24.7. so from that 24.7, I put it on my side, on side front, and I measured it down to my center front. I have 49.5. So just write down that 49.5. After writing it down, what is the waistline? What is the normal waist measurement for this particular pattern? Remember I'm using my size 10, and from here the waistline for a size 10 is 68 cm. Before I continue, let me just say something. In case you are using your own particular measurements to draft your own pattern, your bust and your hip might not fall into the same category on this table. It doesn't matter. This one is just like a standard size chart for the Oyinbo people. It's not necessarily for we Nigerians. So what you have to do is look for the higher part of for the higher figure. Let's assume your hip is like 102 and your weight and your bust is like 84 cm, for example. So just look at hip 102. So you are going to use the proportions under hip 102 for your pattern. I hope we get that. I just said I should chip that in. So now back to what we are doing. Remember I said the waistline for a size 10 is 68 cm. So you write that down 68 cm, and we are working with half pattern here, that is half of the front and half of the back. So what we are going to do is divide this our 68 cm by 2 to have the value for our half pattern, and once we divide it by 2, we are going to have 34 cm. So this 34 cm is telling us that the waist of this particular pattern is meant to be 34 cm. And remember, when we measured it now, we have 49.5 cm. So what we are going to do now is subtract 34 cm from 49.5 cm. So when we subtract it, 49.5 cm minus 34 cm, when we subtract it, we are going to have 15.5 cm. So that 15.5 cm that is left now is going to be our dart. We are going to take that with that 15.5 cm so that our waist can be reduced back to 34 cm. And when we are talking about that is of different types. Remember, there is one that we took on the shoulder here. This is representing our shoulder dart. Shoulder dart. So now we have to find a way to take our dart on the waistline so that our waist can be reduced back to 68 cm according to our table. So now that we've realized that the excess is 15.5 cm, we have to share it in between the front and the back so that they can be shared in such a way that they can be shared equally. So this is what I do. I divide this my 15.5 cm into 2 so that the front can have half of it and the back can have half of it as well. So by the time I divide it into 2, because it is 15.5 cm now, I don't want to be having a small figure, so I just divide it into 7.5 cm and 8 cm. When you add it together, you're going to have your 15.5 cm back. So now with this 8 cm, I'm going to give the 8 cm to the front and I'm going to give the 7.5 cm to the back. So now how are we going to divide it? For each pattern, you are supposed to have a waist dart. Then you are going to have a dart by the side, that is the side front. You are going to have a dart at the side back. You are going to have a dart for the back that is going to be on the waistline, and you are going to have another dart at the center back. I hope you are taking note of that. So now I'm saying 8 cm for my front bodies. So now for the 8 cm, all I have to do now is I can just give my center front, my waist dart at the front is going to be here. Remember, I did quarter of my center front to have this line that I have here. So it is on this line that you are going to measure your front waist dart. Then the remaining is going to be on this side front. So since I'm having 8 cm, I said I want to donate 8 cm to the front bodies. So now how am I going to share the 8 cm? I'm going to give this place 5 cm in such a way that I do 2.5 cm to this side and I do another 2.5 cm to this side, and the remaining 3 cm I'm going to put it at this side front. Okay, how are we going to do that? Just watch me. Remember, I said this line, you rule it down. Remember to rule that your line down. It is gotten by quarter of center front. Don't forget, quarter of center front, that's a line that comes from this place down here. So I said I'm going to give 5 cm to my front waist dart, and I'm going to share it by saying 2.5 cm to the left and 2.5 cm to the right. So that's what I am trying to do now. 2.5 cm to the left and 2.5 cm to the right. Then the remaining 3 cm, remember I'm giving 8 cm to the front bodies. The remaining 3 cm is coming to the side here, side front. So this is my remaining 3 cm. So this is what we are going to do. You connect this your sorry about that. You connect your 3 cm to the underarm here, and you connect this down here as well. So let's go. Oh, before you connect it, just measure 4 cm. 4 cm from this your underarm. Measure your 4 cm down. That 4 cm is supposed to stand as your true bust. You remember, this our line is bust line, but we have to have our true bust line. That is where our breast is saying, because this our bust line is serving for our armhole, and your bust is done immediately after your armhole, sorry, your bust is not on the armhole, it is a little bit below armhole. So this is what we are going to do. Measure 4 cm down and connect it down to the 3 cm you measured here. I hope you are following me. Then come down on the hip line. Remember, when we wanted to do this pattern, we added half of hip plus 3 cm. That 3 cm is meant for ease. That is so that the pattern is going to be free on us. The cloth is going to be free on us, and it won't be too tight. So for you on continue, we have to remove 1 cm from the front bodies and 1 cm on the back bodies, because if we leave it, the cloth is going to be too free on our body. So you remove 1 cm from here and you join this. Remember, we remove 3 cm from the side here, so we join it down here. So our front bodies is coming into shape. Remember, we removed 2.5 cm here and 2.5 cm here. So you measure 11 cm up and 13 cm down for the front. So here I am measuring 11 cm up and 13 cm down. So with this, you have your dart for the front. So with this, I can say we have successfully drafted our front pattern. Sorry, I noticed there's something off about this my measurement. I said it, sorry. So you measure, this is it. So with this, I've successfully drafted my front bodies. So I'm left with doing the same thing with the back, sharing the dart for the back to the back now. So now I'm left with 7.5 cm for the back bodies. But unlike the front bodies, where I only shared the dart in the front waist, that is waist dart for the front, and the side front, this for the back is going to be shared in 3 different places. That is the side back, the waist dart, and the center back. Normally the center back is meant to always have a dart, because our back is not just straight. When you get to the spinal cord at the back, it goes in a little bit. That is why we always have a dart on the center back, to make your clothes get fitted around that area. That is why we always have a dart at your center back. But sometimes for fat people, there's always no need for that center back dart. But for this particular one, because we have enough figure to go round, we are going to have our dart on our side back, our waist dart for our back, then our dart on CB. So our value for the back is 7.5 cm, so we have to share it. We are going to give our side back 2.5 cm. Please, if it is getting confusing, kindly let me know so that I can know how to adjust. So this 2.5 cm, you connect it to this armhole here. There is no need measuring 4 cm for the back. It is the back, we don't need that. And remember to remove 1 cm on the hip line for the back as well. Remember, we removed it for the front, so you have to do the same on the back. So you connect it down straight. That's for the side. So remaining 5 cm. That remaining 5 cm, now we are going to take 3 cm on the waistline and 2 cm on the center back. So I come here, I measure my 2 cm. So here is my 2 cm. I measure my 2 cm. So this 2 cm on the center back, now I'm going to connect it to the back line, and I'm going to connect it to the hip line as well. Please, if this is getting confusing, kindly let me know. My priority is for you to understand this thing as I'm teaching it. So this is it. Then now what we are left to do now is to figure out our waist dart for our back. And in order for us to do that, just divide your across back. Remember, we did across back here. Across back divided by 2. Remember, we used 34 for our across back. Yes. we use 34. Let me confirm again. Yep, yes, I use 34 for our cross back. So now all I have to do is divide that 34 into 4 places and measure it here. So 34 divided by 4, that's 8.5. So we measure 8.5 here and rule a straight line with it. Just in this one for the back, remember at the front we measured 11 cm up and 30 cm down. So for the back you measure 13 cm up and 15 cm down. 13 cm up and 15 cm down. So then I said we are going to put 3 cm for the waistline at the back. Remember we put 2 cm here, we put 2.5 cm here. The remaining is 3 cm. So we share it 1.5 to the left and 1.5 to the right. So this is it, 1.5 to the left and 1.5 to the right. Don't worry, this particular one I can see is a little bit tough, so I'm going to send a note to explain everything I did here so that it won't get confusing to you. So with this we have successfully did both our front waist and our back waist. So if you measure what we have left here, you are going to see that it's going to give us the exact waist measurement for a size 10. So with this we've come to this end of this class. So I'm going to cut it out and show you. Then I'm going to transfer this particular one that we've done to a fabric so that we can sew it. Thank you.